Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be
Along
as
the
bright
Tower
as
has
the
been missing
sun.
in Savannah.
And as you come around, and it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Where is Cody?
Hey family, how is everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tyre Nichols case, but I just want you guys to know I just got out of the living room watching the Young Thug case, and I was screaming and hollering. Oh my God. Sometimes you just want to throw Miss Love underneath the bus. She's doing too much. She's just doing too much. But we're gonna have that video tomorrow when we're gonna talk about the Young Thug case and what she's doing. You know, the judge is acting like she don't see nothing, she don't hear nothing. We're just trying to get through this. We're trying to go. Let's come on, hurry up. And it's unfair. It's really unfair. It's not like hurry up and let's get these boys convicted or whatever. This is a whole bunch of lives here. I think it's about 6 boys that's on trial. And it's like, hurry up. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? I would not want a doctor to be, opening up my chest because I need open heart chest, and somebody saying, let's just hurry up. I don't care if he didn't wash his hands. I don't care if they over there saying something about black people or whatever. Let's just hurry up and get her done. I would not like it, because this is between somebody's freedom and somebody being incarcerated for the rest of their life. For real. Okay? And it just makes me sickened that she's not being thorough and direct and precise and actually lawful. I'm just being honest. Okay? So it's all about respect and dignity and the law. You know what I mean? So it's all good. But yes, I'm upset about it a little bit. But we're going to talk about Tyre Nichols for a minute because they're not sharing a lot of information. And as you guys see my thumbnail, if you didn't know, that today they were supposed to, well, actually, they were supposed to start on closing arguments Tuesday, but the defense came back with another witness for some unknown reason. I want to share that information with you guys. I think it's the latest one here that I have. Let me, oh no. Yeah. Let me see if this is it. No, that's not it. Okay, this got to be it here. I keep them on my top page so I can share with you guys what they said. Now, I am going to share a little video with you guys. And so you guys to know the same thing that I know, and then I'm going to read from here the things. But it also said that the judge delivers the jurors instructions ahead of closing arguments. Okay? The judge done already gave the jurors the instructions on what they need to be looking for, what they need to be thinking. You know, this has only been 18 days, and yes, they is not really almost at the end. They literally is at the end. They literally is at the end. So I'm going to share this with you guys, and hopefully everything will go the way it's supposed to go. Let's keep it real. Here we go.
Or in the federal trial, outside the federal building downtown. Jerry, we understand the defense called several witnesses today.
Today marks day 15 in this federal trial after prosecutors wrapped their case yesterday. The defense so far have called 6 witnesses. So the defense called several former police trainers and also a few character witnesses. The lawyer for each officer on trial each called their own use of force expert. The defense overall questioning the clarity of MPD's use of force policies. Now, former MPD officer and trainer Garrett O'Brien testified that recruits in the academy are taught strikes to the head and face in their defensive tactics course, though admits it can lead to deadly force. Prosecutors still making the point that the officers went against policy when they assaulted Tyre and then tried to cover it up. The jury also heard from a Bryant McKinney. McKinney and Bean were in the MPD Academy together and good friends. He described Officer Bean as a kind-hearted man with a positive attitude, and he's by the book. The judge is still considering the request for acquittal for all 3 officers on trial who say prosecutors didn't provide enough evidence to convict. Testimony continues first thing Monday morning. I'm Jerry Askin, Action News 5.
Okay, so they said closing arguments are set to begin Wednesday. Today is Wednesday inside the federal courthouse, where three of the Memphis police officers have stood trial for the federal civil rights charged in the Tyre Nichols case. Okay, that they stopped him January the 7th. Remember the young lad, hey, in 3 days he was gone, you guys. Yeah. And you guys know this stuff. You guys know it. Thank you, Moss, for coming on in. I got Woke to God. I got Tina Powers. I got Sanja Watts in the building. Thank you guys. And then all the family that's in here also. Thank you guys for showing up. Still supporting this channel. We're getting it. We're getting it together. We're just trying some stuff. And it seems to be working. I want to thank Zena for showing on up. Lisa Calhoun. Lisa Taylor. Thank you, Lisa Taylor. And Lisa Taylor's a member too. You guys, I thought Lisa Taylor was supposed to be a mod. I don't see her in blue though. I'm gonna have to figure that out and get her on in there. Nancy LaRose, thank you, Nancy LaRose. Danielle done came in here 2 days in a row. Thank you, Danielle. You guys, we checking you out. Ruby Turner, hey Ruby, how you doing, Ruby? Thank you for showing on up, you guys, and thank you for supporting this channel. Okay. We're going to Are they out there? Mind you, do not do this. Are they crazy? What they done to Tyrese is sickening. You know. Yeah, I need you guys to support as much as you can because I am going back into learning our system. I have to get all new access to certain things to make things work, and now yeah. She said, "Oh wow, are you kidding me? Acquittal? What are you talking about acquittal?" I'm doing good, Ruby. What are you talking about acquittal, Lisa Calhoun? I ain't heard nothing about no acquittal. But it says, it says closing arguments are set to begin Wednesday inside the federal courthouse where 3 Memphis police officers have stood trial for federal civil rights charges. And that's all it says is Wednesday marks trial date number 18. Now, you guys see how crazy it is on, even though that the Young Thug trial is 140 days. This case right here, they've got 3 defendants. Actually, it's supposed to have been 5, but they're trialing 3 because 2 done completed guilty. And in 18 days, they're coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? She says, well, the guy says, if you think Los Angeles went up behind the acquittal in the Rodney King trial, imagine if they give these guys acquittal. Exactly. I don't know what she's talking about when she said acquittal. We thank everybody for coming. Okay, yes, thank you, Tina. So it says closing arguments never took place Tuesday. Because remember I told you closing arguments supposed to have taken place Tuesday. And for some reason, the defense, which is us, you guys, the defense, or no, not us. That's not us. The defense would be the officers' attorneys. Sometimes we're on the defense side and sometimes we're on the prosecutor side. We're on the prosecutor side on this one, you guys. Just let me not get this wrong. We're on the we're on the prosecutor side on the Tyre Nichols case. At the end of the video, it said 3 officers are seeking acquittal. Go back and listen again. On the one we just played, Lisa Calhoun, is that what you're saying? So the U.S. District Judge Mark Norris entertained concerns from the defense and the prosecutors on jurors' instructions, ensuring the verdict form and the charges were clear, accurate, specific, and easy to follow. The jurors may begin deliberations as early as Wednesday afternoon. That's why I believe they have not came out and said it yet if they are in deliberations, which is weird because you got the news reporting this and they're not keeping us, informed. It's just really weird because these are officers and they don't want to keep us informed. That was the last thing the video said, was that the opportunity for acquittal was still available. I need to listen to it again. Let's just go listen to it, okay? We ain't got a problem listening to it again. We just don't. We can do it like that. Let's see.
In the federal trial outside the federal building downtown. Jerry, we understand the defense called several witnesses today.
Today marks day 15 in this federal trial after prosecutors wrapped their case yesterday. The defense so far have called 6 witnesses. So the defense called several former police trainers and also a few character witnesses. The lawyer for each officer on trial each called their own use of force expert. The defense overall questioning the clarity of MPD's use of force policies. Now, former MPD officer and trainer Garrett O'Brien testified that recruits in the academy are taught strikes to the head and face in their defensive tactics course, though admits it can lead to deadly force. Prosecutors still making the point that the officers went against policy when they assaulted Tyre and then tried to cover it up. The jury also heard from a Bryant McKinney. McKinney and Bean were in the MPD Academy together and good friends. He described Officer Bean as a kind-hearted man with a positive attitude, and he's by the book. The judge is still considering the request for acquittal for all three officers on trial who say prosecutors didn't provide enough evidence to convict. Testimony continues first thing Monday morning. I'm Jerry Askin, Action News 5.
Okay. I see what you guys are saying. Yeah, but we done got to the end, you guys. We done got to the end where if there was an acquittal, though, the judge would not be giving them the jurors' instructions by now. You know what I'm saying? That just don't even make sense to me. I heard what they said. That's surprising, but 4 hours ago, I'm just saying, 4 hours ago, they just said the judge gave the, let me take this off of my thing. Because I wanted to keep that. Let me see. Yeah, I wanted to keep that. I don't want to keep that right there. I'm going to take that off my screen. Yeah, this is crazy. I just don't understand how some of this stuff is going to play out. They went through the entire Rodney King case and the jury voted to acquit. What are you talking about? Acquittal. What are you talking about, Woke the God? Not on Tyre Nichols. There's enough evidence, because there's a video, there's enough evidence to convict the three of the civil rights, his civil rights was violated, and all of that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where y'all get y'all information at. I ain't heard nothing like that. Maybe let me put something else up and see something real quick. It wants to do what it do, but I can get it like this too. 1 hour ago, let me see. This 1 hour ago, this what just came in. Tyre Nichols should be still alive. Closing arguments held in federal court trial of the so they did do the closing arguments. So after 16 days and 28 witnesses, testimony closing arguments concluded in the federal trial against three former Memphis Police Department. So now we're on the verdict watch. See, so it's not no acquittal there. This is just 1 hour ago. Actually, this was published and it was updated 3/17. And it's now, right now, and this is Central Time. So it's accurate time for me and you right now. It's like 17 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, you guys. After 16 days and 28 witnesses, testimony closing arguments concluded. So they're done with the closing arguments. The instructions are done. So they're in deliberations. They got to be in deliberations now. Okay? And then, for Tredadius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, each faced 4 counts of depriving of rights under the color of law through excessive force and failure to intervene. Those three things right there. I know they said four, but those are the three things I know. Oh, and deliberately indifferences conspiracy, which that is the tampering and obstruction justice. Those things are basically, you can just look at the video and know what those charges stem from. January the 7th, two other officers, Desmond Mill and Emmett, accepted the plea agreement. Exactly. Judge Mark read the juror instructions to the pool to begin the day, reminding them to their two duties: decide whether the facts are, apply them to the law, and determine whether the government has proven them beyond a reasonable doubt. I believe that, I don't know what they said and how they said it because they're not showing it, but it says Judge Norris charged the jurors with their instructions. Prosecutors began closing arguments by saying that the prosecutors is us on this case, you guys. So the prosecutor says, listen, seeing that these 5 officers beat Tyre Nichols to death and that they thought they had the power to beat a man, laugh about it, and get away with it. That's how they started their closing arguments. They say, because you saw it over and over again. That's what the prosecutor said. That prosecutor is us now, you guys. As Tyre Nichols suffered, the officers laughed about what they did. Jurors listened as Gilbert said these officers have tried to blame everyone but themselves, including EMTs, for not guessing what they had done. It was their responsibility, Gilbert said. Think about all the time these officers had to do the right thing. These officers chose violence. You could see the cover-up unfold on video. Gilbert mentioned that instead of intervening as they had been trained repeatedly and thoroughly to do, they encouraged each other to use force. They tell the smash bro with an anger problem who's been seeing red to hit him, Gilbert said. They lied. They knew it was wrong and wanted to cover it up. Gilbert said that Nichols is not there to tell jurors of the pain and terror that he must have felt that night. You know that those things hurt him, Gilbert said. You know that those things killed him. Tyre Nichols should still be alive. They chose their own comfort and convenience over Mr. Nichols' life. That's what the prosecutor said. And we're for the prosecutors because we want these police officers that created this scenario, this whole situation that killed a man, to go to jail. That's what we want. So now the defense attorneys, in this case, is the attorneys for the officers. This is what they said. The defense attorney for Bean, John Keith Perry, told the jurors to disregard that they heard Nichols was running through a red light. Just disregard that. That he drove 2 miles from the initial scene based on Martin's testimony. This is what the defense said. Disregard this person was running because it was a cover-up, alluding to the fact that Bean was responding to a radio traffic from the first scene. Perry emphasized that MPD policy and procedures on use of force, saying it was plain. It was pain and compliance by his clients. No more and no less. It was pain and compliance. They were doing their job, Perry said. Perry emphasized that other officers testified that they had never heard of Bean using any type of street tax like other Scorpion unit officers. Jurors then went through a PowerPoint presentation on witnesses' testimony that had been given through the trial, with Perry improvising that the EMT that were on the scene did not give testimony in this case. Perry said his witness showed that Bean followed policies and that the prosecutors could not impeach one of them. How was there a conspiracy? Perry said. Bean never agreed to anything. Look at the facts. Look at the video. A sidebar was called during Perry's closing by prosecutors as he presented things on his slideshow. And that's all they're saying on that. Man, I'm telling you guys, there's always a reason why they did not show this on TV. They did not let this go on TV because people would have been mad. No, this is not, Tina, this is not a civil suit right now. This right now is just a regular thing. They have not filed the civil, they have not filed the civil suit yet. You guys got that? Then that's going to be something different. And if they don't win this, it's more than likely that there will probably be a civil suit, and they probably will not win that. If they win this, they could be a civil suit, and they can take some of these people cars and houses and whatever retirement thing that they were gonna get or whatever. That's why that one sergeant he quit so quick. But that was the latest thing, and that was what was said during the closing arguments. Thank you, Lord, that we found that quick. Okay. Let me see what else. 8 minutes ago. 8 minutes ago. This is what they put out. 8 minutes ago. Juror experts said defense lawyers are employing a risk strategy to, and what the heck? They will not let us see it. All right, well, that's cool. You will not let us see it. Sometimes they won't let us see certain things. They be like, pay for this. 5 officers left him to die, prosecutors said in closing arguments. The fate of 3 former Memphis police officers charged with violating Tyre's federal civil rights when they beat him on January 7th will soon be in the hands of the jurors. Federal prosecutors rested their case Wednesday afternoon after delivering closing arguments. In doing so, they edged closer to the end of a nearly 4 weeks trial. Okay. They face up to life in federal prison if convicted. Okay. The mom is looking very nice. The dad or stepdad or dad, whatever, he's looking very nice. There is no parole in the federal system. The U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights argues for the prosecutors. Gilbert asked the jurors to consider what they saw and heard from the footage during the case. 5 officers beat Tyre Nichols to death. 5 officers tried to cover up. 5 officers chose that cover up over a man's life. These 5 officers thought they had the power to beat Tyre Nichols, to laugh as he suffered. They thought they would get away with it. Okay. Gilbert said that there was a mountain of evidence presented on the excessive force used by each officer. She went on to list out the force Bean, Haley, and Smith used during the beating. She also pushed back on the notion presented by the defense that Nichols was punched in his hands, not his head, calling it senseless, and saying Nichols put his hands up to try to protect his face as he screamed out for his mom. Unbelievable. She also said that undermines defense arguments that Nichols would be a danger to officers if his hands were not being held. You should pay attention to the defendant's own words about it. So Gilbert, I guess Gilbert's a female, said in reference to Smith, saying the officers were rocking Nichols with punches. Unbelievable. Prior to closing arguments, the judge gave the jurors instructions in how to find facts in the evidence presented. Part of those instructions included that aiding and abetting the beating could lead to a conviction. Aiding and abetting the beating could lead to a conviction. This is what the judge said to him. Part of those instructions included that aiding and abetting the beating could lead to a conviction. Gilbert hammered that home during her closing argument, saying that each of the defendants encouraged additional strikes to Nichols. She also showed the jurors video of Smith and Bean holding Nichols up by his arm so that Mills could hit Nichols with the baton. She followed that up with footage of Nichols falling to the ground after reminding the jurors that Smith and Bean was holding Nichols up while Martin punched Nichols. These punches don't happen without defendant Bean and Smith holding him. She then moved into telling the jurors that none of the defendants tried to stop the force that was being used. She circled back to her previous argument, saying that even worse, they helped with some of the force used. This wasn't one punch, it was over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and not one of these defendants tried to stop it. Okay? She then argued that the officers were deliberately indifferent to Nichols' medical needs. She then pointed to the officers laughing, not telling emergency medical technicians or paramedics what happened to Nichols, and not rendering aid themselves. Then think of the time these officers had to do the right thing as the seconds ticked by the minutes, tick and tick. When it came to the conspiracy and witness tampering charges, which Gilbert called the cover-up charges, she said you could see the cover-up happening on camera as the former officers gave a blow-up versions of the event to their supervisors. They told the supervisor the lie. So, yeah, 5 officers beat Tyre Nichols. 5 officers left him to die. 5 officers tried to cover it up, Gilbert said, finishing her closing arguments. Okay. That's what happened in court. So, you guys, even though that we don't get to see what happened, we can kind of just tell what happened. I don't know why this girl trying to say she got a baby by R. Kelly. That man been gone too long for you to have his baby, girl. You tripping. You might have a baby, but it ain't his. He ain't the daddy. He been gone. Okay. Anyway, yeah, hey D Diva, how you doing? So true, it was on the video. Smith, I forgot his name, but his last name is Smith. Yeah, Justin Smith. Tina, Justin Smith. And what else? What else? Much more worse. Yep, exactly. Please hit the like button, you guys. Share. Let me see if there's anything else that we can A.J. Armstrong, son of the NFL player, sentenced to life in prison. So they must have found him guilty for killing his parents. Oh my God. I don't know what this, I just don't even know what this world is coming to. You're welcome. You're welcome. AKMB, what's going on? What is cracking lacking? Okay, let me see if there's anything else. I really wanted to see one other. See, so Kayla Solomon is the courtroom taking notes. Continue to check this story. So let's see what Kayla is saying. Everything we know about these federal trials for former officers' chargers. Okay, October the 2nd. Catherine Gilbert made the government's closing statements to the jurors. We told you what it said. Only 3 of those former officers, police officers, are on trial. We know that. They thought they would get away with it. What they didn't count on was the Sky Cop camera. Gilbert told the jurors video of the beating recorded on a nearby Sky Cop was released on the city of Memphis following Nichols' death, and the officers were arrested on state charges. These 5 officers thought they would get away with punishing him. You saw the punches. You saw the kicks. You heard the baton strikes. You can use your eyes. You can use your ears. You can use your common sense. Regarding the 3 former officers who have not confessed responsibly to Nichols' death, they have blamed their trainers, supervisors, Tyre Nichols and Emmett Martin and Desmond Mills, but 5 officers beat Tyre. 5 officers let him die. 5 officers tried to hide what they did. As Tyre suffered on the pavement, these officers laughed. They chose their comfort and convenience over a man's life. They thought no one was watching, no one was listening, as they bragged about it. She said, congratulations on the new grandbaby. KMB, congratulations. These men's own words tell you what you need to know. These defendants thought they'll get away with it, but you are what stands between them and getting away with it. You are the people who can hold 5 officers accountable for what they did to Tyre Nichols. She recounted the video telling the jurors that Smith punched Nichols in the head multiple times and that Nichols put his hands up to protect his face. When you go back to deliberate, I encourage you to watch defendant Beam's body-worn camera again. Gilbert said, when Martin got there, he knew it was an assault. He knew it was on. They were not trying to handcuff him. Emmett Martin and Desmond Mills gave you an inside look at what these 5 officers were doing that night. The prosecutor said that the 3 officers on trial never counted on Martin and Mills testifying against them. The prosecutor claimed that anger fueled Haley's involvement in the beating. Gilbert referred to Martin saying they tell the smash bro, Martin, that's Martin, they call him the smash bro, you guys, with the anger problem, who's seeing red, to hit him. According to Gilbert, Haley told the other officers, "Beat that man." He might as well have said, "I want you to commit this crime." Mills and Martin testified during the trial, taking responsibility for their part in the attack, but Gilbert said, "I want to be clear. These punches don't happen without Bean and Smith telling Martin to do it, holding Nichols in place." The prosecutors argue that Haley then ran up on the scene and said, "Beat that man," before delivering a vicious kick. You will see both defendant Haley kick and the one he inspires Martin to deliver. Gilbert said all three of these defendants aided and abetted unresponsible use of force when a police officer is committing a crime. The other one that can really stop them is another officer. When Mr. Mills repeatedly struck Nichols with the baton, Smith and Bean did nothing. Gilbert then said that the three officers on trial failed to intervene during the attack and that Bean and Smith were on the scene longer than anyone else. The prosecutor recounted testimony during the trial which states that officers are trained not to use force because they're angry or to punish. Officers who use legitimate force don't have to lie about it, Gilbert said. They reported officers who use excessive force lie about it. Gilbert then brought up photos obtained from the phone of Haley. Those photos showed a bloody Tyre Nichols. Gilbert said the former officer sent the police to several women, like a trophy. The prosecutors claimed that Haley punished arrests by kicking or punching them on at least 3 different occasions. The prosecutors then reminded the juror about the testimony from Dr. Ross, which stated that Nichols died of blunt force trauma. You don't have to find that in any of these defendants intended for Nichols to die. Gilbert said, "You just have to find that they caused his death." Gilbert then reminded the juror that Dr. Ross testified that the blunt force trauma was the effect of the punches and kicks administered by the former officers on trial. I mean, I don't know how much, the Smash Brothers. I don't know, Mr. Nichols isn't here to tell you about the pain he felt as Mills struck him with this baton. He's not here to tell you how he felt when Martin punched him in the head over and over and over and over and over again, or when defendant Haley kicked him. The prosecutors then claimed that the defendant tried to blame EMT for not guessing what they had done. You don't go to the doctor and say, "I'm here, but I won't tell you why. I'm here, you have to guess." Gilbert said of the lack of information the officers gave EMT, which is true, personnel on the scene. You heard from the medical professionals that seconds and minutes count. They chose the outcomes for themselves over the outcome for Mr. Nichols. Dr. Ross testified that when the defendants beat Mr. Nichols, they tried to beat him so badly that his brain tore. Shut the front door. When you watch the videos, you could feel the seconds and minutes ticking by you. You can see the cover-up unfolding. These defendants laughed and bragged about it, what they did. The prosecutors then told the jurors regarding the federal counts of covering up the crime that an agreement can be unspoken. Conspiracy don't have to have a meeting or say it out loud. Gilbert argued that this was backed up by testimony from Martin and Mills. Gilbert closed by saying Tyre Nichols should still be alive. There have been distractions in this trial, but your own eyes and your own ears tell you what you need to know. Don't let these defendants confuse the issues and distract you. You are the people who can hold all 5 officers responsible for what happened to Tyre Nichols. Judge Mark Norris began the day by reading the jurors' instructions. It took 2 hours, you guys. The judge instructed the jurors that testimony regarding a previous rough arrest by Demetrius Haley cannot be considered in relation to Justin Smith or to Thaddeus Bean. Judge Norris also told the jurors that they can find the former Memphis police officers not guilty as charged, but guilty of lesser charges that are laid out on the verdict forms as they see it. I wanted to know. I wanted to know what the judge had to give them on those rules. You guys just heard it. Let me read it again to you guys. Judge Mark began the day by reading the jurors' instructions. It took 2 hours. The judge instructed the jurors that testimony regarding a previous rough arrest by Demetrius Haley cannot be considered in relation to Justin Smith or to Thaddeus Bean. So I guess Demetrius, when it was time to arrest him, he gave them a little fight back. We didn't know that. We know it now. And the judge also told the jurors that they cannot find the former Memphis police officer not guilty as charged, but guilty of lesser charges that are laid out on the verdict forms as they see fit. So the judge is kind of saying, hey, look here. If you are not comfortable with this, life in prison, you can give him a lesser charge. The court took a lunch break and will resume at 12:45 p.m. Closing arguments are set to begin Wednesday afternoon once court is back in session. And then they said a recap. Closing arguments are expected to begin Wednesday morning in the federal trial of the 3 former. On Tuesday, the judge and the attorney spent the day ironing out jury instructions. Okay, closing arguments were expected to begin. Okay. Let's see. The jurors will have to consider instructions for each defendant, as each of the 3 former Memphis police officers on trial have a different defense attorney. Each of those attorneys have different arguments for how they want the jurors to view their clients. Former officer Thaddeus Bean, Justice Smith, and Demetrius all are facing 4 counts charges: unreasonable force, deliberately indifferences, and 2 obstruction of justice. Unreasonable force, deliberate indifferences, and 2 obstructions of justice charges. I didn't hear nothing about murder. You guys, here are the 4 charges. Unreasonable force is 1. Deliberate indifferences is 2. And 2 obstruction of justice. Okay. One defense attorney asked judge to say the testimony given by FBI Special Agent Anthony was a summary as opposed to fact. Judge Norris said attorney had the opportunity to poke holes. The judge said attorneys had the opportunity to poke holes in Household's testimony during cross-examination. Judge said that he expects it to take 3 hours to read all the instructions to the jurors once we get to that point. He called the juror into the courtroom and dismissed them for the day. Judge Norris also officially denied the motion filed by 3 defense attorneys for acquittal. Okay, we got to it. The Judge Norris also officially denied the motions filed by all 3 defense attorneys for acquittals. Okay, you guys? Could have said, okay. I think we got to the bottom of it. I told you guys I'll find it. I told you guys it couldn't be that. Those charges don't carry much weight. I know. So there was one of them that told me what the charges was, because that just doesn't even sound right. You guys, it just doesn't. I'm just, you know. Maybe they'll tell us something here. Oh no, they're not telling us nothing. They just want us to. It's all good. It is all good. Okay, you guys? Didn't they hurt his right arm? Girl, they hurt the whole man. They beat him in the head. They didn't just hurt his. Of course, they had to hurt his arm because his arm is connected to his body. And, you know, they was holding him up and, and they was beating him, hitting him. They was hitting hands, arms, heads, heart, legs, chest, stomach. They hit everything. They hit everything. I did want to see what the Washington Post have to say if they let me. Washington Post is pretty good, but I don't think they're going to let me. They don't. I'm not going to give them nothing. But, yeah. He died from blows to the head. That's what he died from, you guys. You guys know that, right? And let me see one thing about this one thing. It's gonna have it on there, but it won't show up. So Memphis police officers who beat Tyrese to death wanted to punish him after he ran a 2023 traffic stop and thought they could get away with it. A prosecutor said Wednesday as closing arguments began in the federal trial of 3 of the officers. Okay, police delivered a beatdown that killed Tyre Nichols. Yes, they did. Why was Tyre Nichols stopped? Anyway, you guys. Yes. That is it. Yes, at least they denied acquittal. Yes. I didn't know what y'all was talking about when y'all talking about. Yeah, that the judges consider acquittal. I was like, they couldn't consider acquittal when you're reading the instructions. I mean, acquittal is off the table at that time. That's like somebody saying, well, you putting the icing on the cake. The cake is done. You said, well, we need to add eggs. It's a little bit too late for that. The cake is done. We're putting icing on the cake. You talking about adding eggs and cinnamon. A little bit too late. Feel me? A little bit too late. I mean, that's probably not a good, scenario, but I mean, I could understand it. Memphis and some other people will be angry if they get a slap on the wrist. I will be disappointed. Nowhere to put that anger. Okay, and maybe they won't. Okay, let's see. Soldier Girl is in the building. Haven't seen you in a while, Soldier Girl. She says, yes, Soldier Girl is in there. She says, Memphis and some other people will be angry if they get a slap on the wrist. I will be disappointed. Nowhere to put that anger. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Soldier Girl in the house. Um, yeah, yeah, we all gonna be angry, but like, who's gonna be the mortal? That's the question. Who's gonna be the mortal? Because they had BLM, and and the BLMs was supposed to stand for Black Lives Matter. And when you have stuff like this happen, where African American people are beating African American people, people say you can't discriminate because you're the same color. Yeah, you can. I've seen it happen a lot. And I would tell people all the time, get out of my face. Because there's some African American people know that if you chastise another African American person or black person, you can probably get favoritism from the other um you know, person, race or whatever. It happens all the time. It's a part of that slavery mentality where, if one slave would run away and the other slave knew about it, he go tell the master. Then he thinking, I'm helping master because master good to me. So master will give me a nice home and me a nice wife and won't beat me, but I don't mind him beating you because you doing master wrong. The slave mentality. The master in the slaving times would say, I have a headache. The slave mentality would be, we sick, master. This is why when I go to work, I used to sometimes, I would say, oh, we finna go get cleaned up when I'm cleaning somebody. I had to go back and say, I need to stop talking like, and it would not be, it was not something that was put on me, but I would speak sometimes like that. Like I would say, instead of, I would say, Miss Such and Such, let's go get cleaned up. Not let us go get cleaned up. Like I need to get cleaned up because you pooped on yourself. I need to clean myself up. No, let me help you. That's what I need to say. Let me help you, not speak like the slave mentality. Even though that you are caregivers or you doing citizen work or whatever, you need to be careful how you speak. Because yes, you guys, yes, you can start with doing stuff like that. Be careful on how you speak. Quit saying, when you're helping somebody or whatever, don't say, ooh, let us, we's got a headache. No, we don't have a headache. You have a headache. Let me go get you something for your headache. You can still help, but don't speak like that, because some people, you never know who's listening, you never know who's watching, and they think that that's you have that mentality. Public service, public officials, yeah, public service. When you're a public service, which I do stuff like that, and most of you guys do it, be careful how you speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be careful, because it can trigger something, and then you wonder, because I got something to say, and we're gonna get off of here, but like, a person sometimes will come to you and ask you to do something that's out of character, ask you to do something, and you be like, I can't believe this. Or and you wondering why this person asked you to do something that is beneath you or out of your character or something. And I'm going to say this. It's because somewhere you open that door and you let them know, or they're testing you. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but sometimes they test you to see what you would do. And then they're going to push the next button and the next button. It might be something easy or something. She said, I needed a breakdown so bad. Thank you for your patience with me. Girl, no problem. Soldier girl, you know. But that is what it is, you know. But you know how somebody say, girl, I can't believe you asked me for $50. You have to think, did you open that door? Did you open that door? I had a young lady ask me, I mean, she literally boo-hooed and cried and was mad at me. And I was like, why? She was like, because you were supposed to bring me a pick. I don't know nothing about a pick. I must have opened the door by being nice to her. And now all of a sudden she wanted a pick, and I guess she put it in her mind I was going to bring her one, but she was mad at me because I didn't bring it. I didn't have no clue I was supposed to bring a pick. But I said to myself, I kind of giggle about it, but at the end of the day, I have to question, where did I open that door at that think that I would just literally just take my money and think that she needs a pick and buy her a pick. I don't do that. Just like right now, I don't know if Soldier Girl wants a pair of shoes. I don't just think, okay, let me use my intuition. Let me use my brain. Soldier Girl wants a pair of shoes. Let me go get a pair of shoes. No, I don't know. But somewhere I opened the door and she had it in her mind. And that's what I'm telling you guys. And so sometimes you guys get frustrated when people expect things from you. Well, they expect it because somewhere they manipulated you to open that door. You open the door, and now they think they got a stand on you got to do something. Yeah, it's crazy. Even when it comes to jobs, when it comes to doing wrong, you know, that's why I went off on my cousin that one day when she told me to change my charting. I told her I will not. Like, don't even come to me. We're not even that close. You know what I'm saying? What the heck would I lie for? I got a lot to lose. Why would I lie for? I ain't did nothing. Why would I go change my stuff when I ain't did nothing? Y'all go change what y'all got to do. I will not do it. You see what I'm saying? And you got to let them know. I know. Sometimes you got to let them know in a very aggressive way so they will not come to you that way again. Hello? You guys understand what I'm saying? And sometimes they're going to get mad. Sometimes you got to quit your job. Sometimes you got to go somewhere else because they done tried you. They didn't care if I lost my license. They don't. They don't care. They want to see how low would you go? You know, they be like, how low would you go? You want this money, how low would you go? Well, baby, you put me in a bad situation. I told you I will not. I don't want it that bad. How about that? How about, I thought about it. I tried. I thought about it for a minute. And what I'll do is, since the other people, which is your counter body parts or your employees, your peers or whatever, now they want to attack me because you threw it out there. You know what I'm saying? Now let me tell you something. Yeah, I was really upset because I wanted to keep that job. It was close to the school. It was close to my home. The money was okay. It wasn't all that. I mean, it was great, but it wasn't. I can get that everywhere anyway. It wasn't like it was a solo thing. Like it only happened once. No, everywhere you go, that's the same price, the same pay, whatever. But I was very angry that my cousin put me out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And then the funny thing about it, you guys, I just told you I just had a little cousin that passed away, right? I don't have nobody's phone number on that side of the family because it's two sides of the family. It's my mom's side and then my auntie's side, which had all these kids. Well, I had to call that particular same person to get the information about what was going on with my little cousin, that she was in comfort care. And then I had to call her today to confirm that she had died. She had deceased yesterday. And, but we're not really like speaking like, hey, cuz, what's it, do. No, it's like, hey, what's going on? I'll let you know who it is. This is such and such. What's going on? See, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at her or anything like that. She doing what she doing. That slave mentality. She was ready to throw me underneath the bus. That's frustrating to me. But, we live and we learn. Your own people, your own color will do that. They have that slave mentality. Whatever it takes for them to get where they're going. She needs to just go to school if she wants to keep that title. I'm not going to help you keep the title by taking my license when I did go to school. Ninja, you must really be losing your mind. You know the sacrifice a person takes? You must have stumbled on your job and your title. I was not trying to mess up her thing. You know what? If you want to keep that title, and I will go on down the street. And that's what I did. I didn't argue with her. I didn't confront her and everything. And you know what? Now she done quit the job. I don't know what she does. But anyway. Because you can't keep it for long. You got nothing old. You got no foundation to keep a job. Matter of fact, you better keep it, because anywhere else you would not. You would be on the floor as a CNA. So I understood why she was trying to keep it. I didn't want to harm her, so I just left. Now, had it not been my cousin, I would have said the same thing. But I would have probably been a little bit more aggressive, right? Anyway, you guys. Life is life, you live and you learn. Anyway, we're going to get off of here, you guys. Our hour is up. We're going to do if you see me tomorrow, we'll probably do a reaction video. I'm going to start putting out videos or whatever. I don't know. I want to, but I haven't had time to do my hair. I've been doing homework. So you guys, I will see you guys later. We will pick up and get the updates of what happened in court. I'm just telling you, Miss Love is on one. Anyway, you guys, be good, be safe, and be nice to each other. Bye.